We will talk to you about the national policies that a government must have in the mind to the protect to the national market. But I think that is must also think about how to open imports and export so that can I subsist. We have to pay the tariff imposed by the US government, imports of steel, and other sensitive materials. It's a measure of protection because countries such as China, Shepherd and the government must also protect the national market and the national industries that have employees with whom the qualified works command must be maintained since it is a cheap labor force. There are also groups or companies that have high interest in keeping their operation of the country due to the high cost of their labor. Aerospace companies and the other companies have trade barriers. Steel, aluminum are materials that have to be imported and have a high range and import restriction to stop in the unfair practice of the other countries such as China. The steel of that country is cheaper and there are companies that buy it outside the law. The government has many rules and restrictions to stop these imports, and this affects other companies that have their imports in order and that need to continue importing. Many of time there is not material in the national market and it cannot be supplied to be able to steal the product of the other companies. An example is the Boeing demand that its suppliers be certified and that the quality of the products be what it asks for internationally. But there are many small companies that did not meet the minimum requirements in order to be accepted. That is why raw materials of the other countries must be imported, and that is where the government has many commercial barriers and local suppliers cannot satisfy demand of raw material. That is why there are trade barriers and high taxes. The rates imposed can up to the 200% higher and must be meet specific requirements. For example, that the steel is not from China or country that has business with China. Present certificate of origin of the merchandise with the specification of the supplier and it must be original. Then a permit will be used for imports so that cannot be imported from another country. Procure market, but on the other hand, business investment is stopped. This represents that the government has to close companies and there will be high unemployment in the country and can cause economic crisis because companies leave the country because of the high cost of importing these materials. The government must be able to maintain an economy for the country and for companies that are worldwide and that the investment does not go outside the country. Must make commercial agreements with those countries that suits the country and that has a lot of economic power to be able to compete with the technologies for the other countries.